in Sitecore and more than 16 plus years of industry experience. He worked as in Microsoft Technologies and Sitecore, and he holds a he holds multiple certification across the Sitecore and Microsoft Azure platforms. And he is passionate about the designing, building, delivering innovation, large scale projects. And thank you so much for Nemia to show up on the our user group. And stage is yours.
Thanks for introduction, Gautam.
I'll stop sharing. You can start.
Yeah, sure.
So we're able to share your screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome everyone. The Coimbatore Psycho User Group. Today I'll be talking about the XM Cloud Migration Tool, which was released by Psycho. My name is Nehemiah J. Kumar. I'm a Psycho architect at Cloud IQ and Psycho Technology MVP. You can read my blogs and on my website, and also you can connect with me in the LinkedIn and other social media channels. So before we start, I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity present here. And and um, and Coimbatore, that's where I studied. So it's good and happy that I'm able to present in this user group. So here's what we will cover today. I will briefly describe the tool. We'll also provide a background and comparison of various like initial version and the latest version that we have currently. And also we'll talk about installation and setting up the tool and some of the prerequisites to use this tool as we'll discuss about that. And we also talk about certain configuration files that you use. And we also have there are two type of options that we have to execute this tool, and we'll discuss about both the options. And we'll also discuss what are the differences, and we also have a summary of how much time it takes, and you give a kind of a conclusion on that. And so let's start with introduction to the tool. So this tool helps to move content. Yeah, so this tool moves content and media and user from the source cycle instance. It can be XM or XP. It can be stored. It can be on-prem installation or it can be Azure App Service to a target XM cloud environment. So it acts as a middle layer that simplifies the task of migrating the content from one place to another place, and it also increases the productivity because it has a lot of new features that is being inbuilt in the latest version. It is available in both graphical user interface and the CLI. Coming to the background, so this was first introduced in the year 2022 during our Psycho conference, and it was as when Psycho XM Cloud was introduced, there was a lot of shift between the traditional way of handling the content, right? So it was purely headless, it's a purely SaaS, and we don't have any options or any full access to the system as well. So many clients reported migration to XM Cloud is a kind of a pain and tedious, a time-consuming task. So that's when Psycho team introduced a set of team members, and they invested certain money so that they can work on this particular tool. So this tool was is just to simplify the migration process to XM Cloud. So it was first showcased in the SACO North America, and it released to the public in November 2023. So in the initial version, 1.2 supported 10.1 and above, and it also only supported the on-prem version. So it was not supporting the Azure App Service, and even Psycho 9 version was not supported. So under the hood, it leverages cycle content serialization in the version 1.0. So because of that, so there's a lot of dependency. So it has to It just needs the management service also installed in your source system as well. Because if you want to use a CLI, if you want to use a content serialization, you need to have a content management service. So there's a lot of dependency on that. And also, since it's a content serialization, so there's a lot of effort are needed for the system to serialize the content, and then it has to push it to the target system. So all sort of dependencies were there in the 1.0 version. And this tool also helps to migrate the users. So in case if you have a set of users in your source system, so this particular tool will help you to migrate those users. And what this will do is it will invite those users to the Psycho XM core organization. And invitation will be sent to the user so the user can accept and create the XM Cloud organization user account. So let's talk about the version 2. So coming to the version 2, it was released in October 2024. It supported Psycho 9.1 and above. So they added additional support beyond 10.1. So it also delivers fast data transfer built on Google protocol buffers, protobuf. So that particular mechanism helps to serialize the content in a very faster way. So they completely remove the dependency of the content serialization. So because of that, so there are a lot of dependencies also has been removed. For example, content management, psycho management service was not required for this particular tool to be used. And it also, the tool also optimized the support of migrating large amount of data because they were migrating in batches. So earlier it was migrating one file at a time or maybe a set of files. But now since they have modified to the protocol, and also they also migrate in batches. So they were able to migrate quicker and faster if you have a proper network bands and everything. So it was able to move faster to the XM cloud environment. So as I was telling, it also supported Psycho on-prem and a PaaS installations. So for this version, the tool dependencies were provided as Psycho package. Earlier, so all sort of dependencies were CLI and there is a need of management service and everything. But in the version 2, they provided a single Psycho package. You just need to go to your normal package installation wizard and then install the package, and then you should be all set to use this tool. So the tool will also has been enhanced with some additional commands. So the CLI, you have a lot of options to migrate the content, also migrate the users. So there are additional subcommands were added under version 2.0. And similar to the version 1, only the media items stored in the database were supported. So in case if you have stored the files, media files as a file system, that is also an option, but it was not supported in this particular tool. How to get this tool? So this tool is available in the developers.psycho.com, and you can download the archive. And when you extract the archive, so you should be able to get multiple things. So one is a Psycho dependency package and the documentations, and also it has a GUI like graphic user interface and the CLA as well. So because this tool is available in both the versions. So this is where it is like when you download, so you will see all sort of a GUI and uh, yeah, and you have the exemplar CLA version, the psychopack dependency files, and the documentation. Unfortunately, this particular tool documentation is available as part of the tool. For some reason, Psycho did not create it as part of their documentation website. So if you want to go through the documentation, you have to download the archive and then extract it, and then your documentation will be there. And let's talk about the dependencies. So in the version 2.0, as I told you, Sitecore has simplified the dependencies. So what it means, so Sitecore has kept all the dependencies, for example, custom handler, the assemblies needed for the migration, everything they kept in a folder called migration harness. So when you install the package, Sitecore will just deploy that particular migration for harness folder. It has the assemblies files. It has the custom handler files. Everything is there. So we'll talk about in detail in the later stages. So coming to the installation. So installation has three steps. So first and foremost thing is the Psycho package. So as I told you, all dependencies are there in a single folder called migration harness. So when you install a package, or you can extract a package, or you can just simply extract and place that particular folder into your root folder in root source folder. And after that, so you have a set of assembly files. So you need to add a set of assembly bindings in your web.config. So that is also available as part of the documentation. So you have to add it in your psycho web.config. So it's better to take a backup of the web.config and apply these changes. So we also need to update the psycho item services security policy to services on policy. So the reason is this custom handler needs to get access to all the entities and item services from the store. So that the tool can read the entire tree and it can help you to migrate the content. So in case if you like if you want to patch it, so this is the way you can enable for item services security policy. So now we did all this work on the source system. So that the tool can connect to the source system and it will help the ability to select the item that has to be migrated to the target system. So let's talk about what we have to do on the target system, that is XM Cloud environment. So from the for the okay, so we'll talk about XM Cloud. Before that, I just want to quickly talk about what are the prerequisites. First and foremost thing is source Psycho instance URL. You need to have the source Psycho content management base URL and a particular admin username and password. You have to create a own one, or you can use one of the existing one. From a target XM Cloud perspective, you will need to have Psycho XM Cloud environment ID, content management base URL, and the client ID and the client secret. So talking about the client credentials, that is a client ID, client secret, it should be an organization credentials that we have to create in the XM Cloud deploy app. And the reason why organization credential needed is, so this particular tool also allows you to migrate users. So when you migrate the users, the tool will invite those users to the XM Cloud organization so that the invitation has been can be sent to those users. So that's why you need to have organization credentials. So let's have a visual walkthrough of this tool. So I have created a local Cypher instance. So what I did is I just created a like around 30,000 sample items under a folder called migration. Let's assume that this is a legacy content that I just want to migrate as is. So initially, as I was showing in the slide, this particular tool is just migrate as is. So from whatever there in the source system, it will just migrate as is to the target system. It does not do any sort of transformation in the middle. So in case you just want to move the legacy content to your XM cloud, this particular tool will help you on that. So when you open just if you're going to talk about the GUI application, so when you open the GUI application, it provides an option to choose the migration type. So whether you want to migrate content, media, and or users. So you can choose whatever you want. In the next screen, you will need to provide the details of your source Psycho management URL, an admin username, and a password. These are the prerequisites on the source system. So in the next screen, so you will need to provide the target XM Cloud details. So from the target XM Cloud perspective, so as I mentioned earlier, you need to have an environment ID, content management base URL, organization client ID, and organization client secret. So one good thing with this tool is this tool provides a clear details on where to get this detail. Uh, so as of now, the whatever instruction which is there in the tool, it will work. So as you know, there are a lot of changes happens in XM Cloud. Like many changes happens every day, and things are getting changed. One day it is in one place, another place is not there. It's a different place. So as of now, it is working. So there may be a chance in future this particular location may be different. It may be you need to go and find out in the right place in the XM Cloud environment. So in this screen, if you have provided proper details on the XM Cloud, in the source psychosystem details, and if the tool is able to connect to that successfully, you should be able to see your source content tree with the kind of a checkbox. You should be able to select whatever you want, and then you should be able to migrate those things. So one good thing with this tool is, so as you know, like for the items to be for the items to be working fine, you need to have the template first. So otherwise, you will get the template not available error or something. So the good thing with the tool is, in case if you're selecting both templates and content, the tool automatically gives a higher precedence to the templates first. So automatically change the order so that it will migrate the template first and then it will migrate the content. And then the tool checks if the example details are correct. So in case what are the files that you have provided, everything is good, it will just show your success message. In case if the message, if the what are the details that you provided is not correct, then it will going to show you the error. Then you should be able to go and update those things as well. So now we have provided the source ecosystem details and the target system details. So now it's the time to migrate. So once you click on migrate, that's when all sort of magic happens. The tool will do all sort of magic in the sense it will serialize the items as a Google protocol, and, and then it will start migrating in the batches. So the screen shows each and every step, and it also tells how much time it takes. And since sometimes the job may take more time, so what this particular tool is having is kind of a transfer job, so that it will just poll each and every time and then see whether the job is finished or not. So this all sort of details you can see in that particular screen. So when I did this particular scenario, so the job was completed in just 11.2 seconds. So till now, we saw how we can use a GUI tool to migrate those contents. So till now we entered a lot of details. We entered a lot of details about the source ecosystem details, and we also mentioned about example details and all sort of information about what items that has to be migrated, everything. So what this GUI tool will do is it will just create the app setting to JSON file in the same folder where the tool is being executed, and all information that whatever you enter, it will be saved in the JSON file. So we'll talk about the JSON file in the next slide. So the app settings of JSON file. So the app settings of JSON file is not provided as part of the tool archive. So when you extract for the first time, the JSON file will not be available. So what happens is whenever you open the GUI application or the CLA for the first time, it just creates the empty JSON file, and it will just give you all sort of attributes and it will keep the data empty. So whatever the data that you enter via GUI, it will automatically saved in the JSON file. So what are the items that you want to migrate? Everything is there in another section called content section. So it will be very similar to the CLI content serialization that we have for Cycle, but it will be a little bit different on the naming attribute names. So content transfer scope, currently it supports only one option. It is item and descendant. So if you select one of the parent item, it will just going to migrate everything from that item to the all the descendants. So, but in the content serialization, we had an option, right? So we used to have option of only showing the parent, only child, or only descendants. Such kind of options is not available in this particular tool. So there is only one option available, so you have to use that. From the merge strategy perspective, there is only one option at this time. So it will just override existing items. So there is no way of merging. There is no way of like skipping nothing. Like it will just override everything, and that is the only option that is available at this time. So additionally, to support migrating a large amount of data, So Sitecore has added a support to migrate in batches. So there are two type of settings that are available. One is items per arrive. So which means the number of Sitecore items to be included in a batch file. So as I mentioned in the version 2.0, everything is migrated in batches. So this particular option will help you to configure how many items can be created or how many items can be included in a single batch file. So important thing here is too low setting can result in a large number of file because you will like Cycle will get large number of files, and when there is a too high number of this configuration can affect the transfer speed because there will be huge big file and the transfer may be affected. So you need to have some optimal numbers. So whatever the auto generated file that has like 10,000 items per batch. So there is another setting called media size limit. So this determines the maximum size of media content that can be included in a single batch file. So default auto-generated file has 100 MB batch file. So once that reaches 100 MB, they need to start getting another batch file. They need to start migrating to the XM Cloud environment. So, so this is one of the example. So as I was telling, whatever the data that you enter it in the GUI, everything is stored there. So if you can see, this is a source and a source details. This is a target system details. Everything is there. And from the content perspective, so whatever the item that you select from the screen, the name, path, and all the default items will be stored here. So, and as I was telling about other rack configuration, everything's also as part of the app setting JSON file. That is as there as part of the file itself. So apart from that, there are some additional details are there. For example, inviting the users who are going to be migrated. So how we want to invite, like whatever access that they have to have. So all sort of things can be done. Since it is 2.0 version is kind of a new version with all these additional features, we don't have so many customization available at this time. We hope that Psycho adds additional options and configures it, but as of now, the options are available, but it is not, it is just limited only as of now. Okay, so let's talk about CLI. So till now we talked about GUI. So whatever the data that you entered, everything is in the app setting. So how we can use that same JSON file is CLI works and with the same JSON file also. So as you know, CLI helps you to automate. So you don't want anyone to be manually triggering the GUI and do it. So with automation, you can use the CLI and you can use the same app setting JSON file and you can configure it as part of your deployment pipeline or whatever that you have. Okay. And so the same thing, for example, the content that you want to migrate, that also can be migrated. So when you, whatever you selected from GUI, that will be stored in the JSON file. So if you use my exemplar migration and space the content, so this is going to migrate whatever the configured values in the JSON file, it is just going to migrate to the target system. Uh, However, like in case the same thing applies, if the example data is incorrect, then you are going to get error. If the source system cycle instance is not able to connect, then you're going to get error. So all sort of things, whatever you have in GUI, everything happens in CLA also. But only thing is CLA helps you to automate that in case if you want to do it as part of the pipeline. And coming to the some other details. So in case if you don't want to store the source username and password in the JSON file, so what you can do is you can just pass it as part of the parameter. So this will help you in case if you want to run it as part of the pipeline where you don't want to store it in the JSON file, you just pass it as environment variable or from a secrets. Then this particular CLA will help you to migrate those content with the username and password as well. And other thing is, if you want to migrate the users, so you have a migrate user domains. So whatever the domains that are listed here, it is going to the source cycle instance. It is going to fetch all the users with the email address and the first name, everything. And then it is going to invite the users to the XM Cloud environment. And then if you want to get the help, you can also get the help, which is very similar to all the CLI that Psycho has, even the Psycho CLI with the content CLI, everything. It just has a similar feature as well. So this is a UI on the GUI. So I just executed with the same JSON file and with the content. So it is able to do the same work. So it is just migrate the content from the source system to the target system as well. So, and you can see it also has a similar type of logs. So what are the details, how much time it takes, everything is there in the same log as well. So one good thing with this particular tool is for each instance that you run, either it is CLI or GUI, this tool will create a log file. So in the same folder that you have, there is a file will be created under a folder called logs. So each time that you execute, it will going to create a log file so that in case if you want to go and troubleshoot, you can always go to each log and then find out what is the error and then you can rectify that. So recently, I think what I see is like some people try to migrate certain files which are there as part of XM Cloud by default. For example, if you just mistakenly clicked on directly entire media folder or maybe entire content folder, so that particular migration will not work. So you need to make sure that whatever your custom created content that you want to migrate, that only you can migrate. If you cannot migrate any content which is already there as part of a source, like a cycle instance itself. Okay. Um, yeah, coming to the metrics. So I just want to talk about disclaimer first. So this is not official performance metrics. This is just purely from my experience on using this particular tool in one of the instances. So there is no official information on how much time it takes. But based on my logs, based on my scenario, so I just triggered a migration of 31,000 items from my source system, a simple Psycho local instance to the XM cloud. So it took around 11 seconds. So it includes serializing the content and then creating it in batches, migrating it to XM cloud, and also showing it in the content tree. Everything. So everything was done in just like 11 seconds. That seems promising, right? So from XCLI perspective, it takes a lot of time. You just serialize it, keeps it in a local instance, and then it has to push it. But since it is being done in kind of a modern format in batches, I believe that that is the reason why it was taking just 11 seconds to just migrate everything in quickly. So again, it's just not official indicator, and we have to try with multiple scenarios and see how fast it is. But otherwise, I have seen that this particular tool is promising in case if you just want to migrate a legacy content, big chunk of data, and just to the target system. And there are some known issues are there. So when the Psycho instance is being, like when the tool is trying to load your source Psycho content, sometimes it takes time because it also depends on the speed the source Psycho instance is responding. And so that's the reason sometimes it will be slow. Sometimes in case if you have a very huge content tree, sometimes it will be slow, but otherwise it will work. It will just take just few seconds to load. Otherwise, it will just load you, and then you can just select what are the templates that you want to migrate, the custom templates, custom item, and then it will just migrate. So to conclude, so the very particular use case for this tool is in case if you want to migrate assets from the source system to the target XM code, this tool will help you. But this tool does not provide a way to transform the data. So like from one template to another template and migrate the data and to a different template, that is not possible. So whatever there in the source system, you just simply migrate to the target system. And again, one important thing is from Psycho even recommend that you first go and migrate the template first, and then migrate the content. So that is just to make sure that Psycho does like current item does not show any sort of error because the templates are not available. And another limitation is that only media items stored in the DB can be migrated. If it is stored in files, that cannot be migrated. So if you ask me, the alternative to this kind of migration is a Psycho PowerShell extension. And there is another solution provided by Southern MVPs, like you are able to connect a publicly or your database, but publicly available way so that you can connect the addition database to your XM clone. That way you can just migrate from one database to another database, kind of a transfer that has an option available in Psycho. So you just migrate from one database to another database as a transfer. That's also possible. But again, those are some of the steps that is possible right now, but that can be removed in future. So because XM Cloud is being restricted day by day because it is a SaaS application, we don't want any users to put something and break the system. So that they just want to make sure that they restrict as much as possible and work like a real SaaS application, but also has the ability to customize the system as well. So that's the way. Again, I just want to highlight that it's a very limited use case. If a use case that we can use this tool, you cannot use this tool if you have some sort of data that is MVC and you can just migrate as is. But the limited use cases, in case if you have a content, a legacy content that you want to do it in the XM Cloud, this tool will definitely help you there, where you have to migrate to the target system. Yeah, that's all I have. So I am open for questions. If you have any questions, yeah, you can let me know then.
In case of any questions, please put in the chat box. So I think it's very clean and straightforward. So I think no questions being raised as of now. So I think we are all good right now. In case of any clarifications or questions required further, please reach out to like me or Jaikumar directly in the LinkedIn channel. He is available, I think. And even you all can directly message us. We are also available in the LinkedIn channel and help us to narrow down the issues. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. And thanks.
Thanks
It's
for
a wonderful session. I think it's truly, fruitful, I believe, for everyone who is attending the session. Thank you for your knowledge sharing session, please. Thanks for that.
Thank you so much
you.
for yeah. Bye. Thanks, Anya.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.